Trust me, he said. Believe in our Lord of Infection and Pestilence, he said. Wait, didn't we meet once in Somerset? I can't believe I prayed to Periite for help, and he blessed me with your familiar face. He usually only blesses me with abundant pus. Everything is wrong. My friend Martina entered this flu-ridden city to recruit followers for Periite, but he hasn't returned. I fear the diseased beasts inside have devoured him like... Look for his belongings. He's always dropping things because of his numbing hand fungus. I would do it myself if it weren't for my responsibilities. If he's dead, someone has to carry on our sacred duties. What do you say? You will? Bless you, brave hero. May Periite rot your teeth and cover your face in scabies. Wandering Tamriel to spread the good word of Periite, along with various ailments. When we heard about the flu in Orcrest, we ran here as fast as our mucus-filled lungs would allow. A proper pandemic is just what we needed to prove everything! My scalp is itchy, my bowels are irritable, my feet are caked in creamy fungus. To show the people the sickening power of Periite and bring more followers.
We could always use poorly.
Let us know if you find new supply. Water, food, bandages, a couple jugs.
Another stranger. Hopefully you aren't Unfortunately, he kept yelling about the virtues of skin rashes and hugging the infected zombies, so we locked him in a cage. If you bring us some supplies, we'll consider setting him free. In the meantime, you can talk to the fool yourself. Talk to that rambling cultist if you must. Just be careful he doesn't cough on you. A merchant hired us to escort his wagon into Orcrest. When the flu broke out and the fire started, he panicked and got himself killed. We hid in a room and used his supplies to survive.
I remember you from Somerset. Periite must have sent you. I have to find proof that Periite is responsible for the flu, or at least something that can be misconstrued as proof. Gather accounts of the flu, and I'll join you. If not, I'll stay right here and die. When I was healthy and normal, no one noticed me. One day, I was afflicted with an exquisite sickness, and the entire town fawned over my deathbed. I survived, but found my true calling as an ambassador for illness. I owe my... Periite is the taskmaster, the Daedric Prince of Pestilence, the Lord of the Natural Order. He maintains balance...
Did you find food, water, and fragrant? If that crazy cultist had half a brain, he would worship you instead of Periite. Here's the key to the cage. Go free him so we can find a way out.
Did you find proof that Periite caused the flu in Orcrest? Unlock this cage so we can spread his distasteful teachings. I'll meet you outside of the city. Periite willing, we'll catch the flu on the way.
We're ready. Let's get out of the city before it kills us. Let's go. We can talk when we're outside of the city walls.
Our hero arrives. Periite. Thank you for helping me escape Orcrest. I don't think Filbert could have found more followers for Periite without me. Honestly, he probably would have just stood in this exact same place until vultures pecked his eyes out. I'll use the accounts of the flu you found to make non-believers think Periite was responsible for the flu in Orcrest. People really respect Daedric princes who can decimate an entire populace. Do you believe in the power of Periite? Would a fool live in constant sickness to prove his devotion? Would he travel Tamriel with an idiot in a hopeless attempt to convince others to do the same? It sounds worse when I say it out loud. In any case, I owe you. Please accept this gift. I'm not upset with you. Most people don't respect Periite's power until they contract a terminal illness. I could have taken you under my wing and made you a proper follower of Periite, just like I did for Filbert. He used to be the town fool, but look at him now. Actually, don't look at him right now. Wait until he...
Thank you, friend. Without your supplies and knowledge, we would never... These cultists hired us to protect them on their misguided missionary journeys. I think they're planning to convert us to their lost cause, but that's unlikely.
Thank you, friend. I think I might just sit here and watch.
Thank you for helping us, Rook. I'll follow Darava wherever she goes, as long as she lets me.
Without you, I would have lost my best friend. Actually, my only friend. Wandering Tamriel.
What?
I did not expect to see you in this desolate place, Walker. Did Captain Nalado send you? Or have you come to join us as we hunt the dragon that killed so many of our warriors? Then our missions coincide. We can work together to destroy the undead and slay the dragon. It will be glorious. When we finish with the hunting and the slaying, we can report our success to Lord Gareshri. I do not take orders from that old battle mage. Besides, the blood of Khajiiti warriors cries for vengeance. To disregard that cry, that is not a shame I can bear. No, I must do this. I must strike back and show my people that hope survives. The worthy life is full of risk, Walker. I assumed you knew that, given what you do. I will tell you a secret, though. Before my parents died, they gave me a pendant. As long as I wear it, Jode watches over me and provides his protection. To Jode, yes, but also to my family and heritage. I suppose you could call it an heirloom. It helps me in my role as agent for Lord Gareshri, and that is all I will say about it. Now, let us go inside and find the necromancer and the dragon. With me! Stay close. We will hunt these necromancers down and end this dragon. The path splits here. We will go right. Walker, you stay left. Moons guide us. creatures! Cut them down! Enemy awaits, Five Claw! Destroy the necromancer!
No more excuses. No more delays. Reanimated body marches ahead of your Axios force.
We did it! The necromancer has fallen!
Far enough, little insects. You dare challenge Mulamnir?
Dragonfire, move!
Little morsel. Mulamnir would talk to you. Mulamnir wanted to thank you, little morsel. Your actions help set us free of our hated prison. Mulamnir wants you to understand the challenge before you. Our puppet, Eurexia, commands a legion of soldiers, an army of necromancers, and a horde of undead. Add my dragon brothers, and the hopelessness of your cause become. You and Abnathon set us free. You released us from the halls of Colossus. For that, I offer you this one last chance to survive. If you and the battle mage leave elsewhere, my brothers and I will not hunt you down. Then you will die, but not before we slaughter your friends and set fire to elsewhere. Once we reduce this land to so much ash, only then will I tear you apart. So promises Mulamnir, whose claws have dealt 1,000 deaths. Leave elsewhere, little morsel. Tell the battle mage, if I see you again, you will die.
Fiveclaw, are you all right? I heard what the dragon said. Perhaps my confidence was a bit misplaced. That creature was much bigger than it appeared when it flew over the camp. I never jump without first knowing where my feet will land. Also, I have very sharp claws. We lost so many today. The dragon, that Mulamnir, it has much to answer for. We defeated the necromancer and shut down one of their undead foundries. We need you and Tarn, despite my dislike of the man. But what the dragon intimated about Euraxia, it called her its puppet. I fear the dragons control the Rimmen throne now. Yes, you must do that. I will join you after I take care of the remains of my soldiers. They died bravely and deserve to receive the proper sacraments. Go to Riverhold. I will see you.
This one was very pleased to hear of Vice Reeve Pelidil's.
Thank you for stopping, Walker. You seem to be a traveler of some strength, no? Strong enough to help save this one's companions? They are trapped in the nearby oasis, surrounded by walking corpses and deadly fumes. Yes, this one is lucky to have made it out alive, but her companions, not so lucky. Ioka sent Paulina to seek aid. He wishes to research the fumes in order to make an antidote. He is closer to the ruins, tending to one of our companions. Speak to him to learn more. He is the green one, with many scales.
You have come to Cicatrice in a time of great danger, traveler friend. Toxic fumes permeate the air, and corpses walk among the ruins. It is best to turn away now before you share the fate of my dear companions. We were exploring the nearby oasis caverns when the fumes first began to spread. Only Najira and I were able to escape. The rest of my companions, weakened and disoriented by the poisoned air, ran farther into the caverns of the oasis. I would need to first create an antidote. However, I require samples from corpses that have absorbed the fumes. No easy task, given that something has awoken Cicatrice's dead. They now guard the ruins from any invaders. Thank you for the aid, traveler friend. The undead walk the ruins of Cicatrice, directly to the west. I would advise caution. So much trouble for my egg mother's research notes. I know. When we entered the caverns of the oasis, all seemed quiet. The fumes must have disoriented them, for they ran farther into the cavern. Argonians have a far higher tolerance to poison than other races, due to the nature of our home. Precisely. An antidote will both allow us to... Once, the town of Cicatrice was a cool blessing within the scalding desert. The oasis beneath... When the Nahatan flu came to elsewhere, many hoped that the oasis would heal them. They traveled here seeking hope, but brought their... They could not. The reigning monarchs quarantined infected towns in order to stop the disease from spreading. When the Nahatan flu devastated Cicatrice, its people fled into the safety of the nearby oasis. They hoped... Yes, it is by her letters that I know of Cicatrice's suffering. She was a talented alchemist, and I hoped to find my mother's research.
She doesn't want us here.
Najira will go alone. She will not sit idle while her friends suffer.
Please, don't be foolish. Najira, wait. I am glad to see you unharmed. Were you able to gather the samples? She fears for our companion's safety. I urged her to wait, for without an antidote she will quickly succumb to the fumes as well. But Najira refused to listen. I must begin my research. However, I still require a blossom of Arce's lash. A cactus with a bright pink flower. It has great medicinal properties. Would you collect a blossom for me? The cactus can be found west of here, in a small glade. Thank you once more for your aid, traveler friend. After I create an antidote, we can enter the Oasis caverns and rescue my companions. Perhaps even find them.
How dare you intrude upon my oasis! Leave this place! Now!
Yes, this should. My antidote is nearly complete. All I need now is the Arce's lash blossom. Were you able to get one? A Nereid? Most peculiar. I wonder if she's somehow connected to the Oasis. But there is no time to speculate while my companions are still in danger. I must deliver this antidote. Thank you, traveler friend. I feared to ask, but already you volunteer. Make sure to drink some of the antidote before entering the Oasis caverns. And my egg mother attempted to develop a cure for the Nahatan flu when it first... Here you are, traveler friend. Let us hope this potion has the desired effect.
You must leave here now. The very air is poison. Iokas. I knew he would not abandon us. You must hurry. My companion, I will be all right. The fumes have weakened me, but not as much as the others. A blessing of my Argonian blood. I just need to rest a moment more.
Bajira should have listened to Iokas. Thank you for saving this foolish one, Walker. She should not have returned.
Is anyone there? Thank you, stranger. This one will find you.
To die here. Did Iokas make this? Rebanji must thank him.
not the fumes. I heard someone in the central chamber.
It is all right, Laratan. I believe you. Thank you for saving my companions. Were you also able to find my egg mother's research notes? They would be invaluable to learning what occurred here. Thank the Hist. I was worried her research would be lost forever. She writes of a Nereid who lives here, and how her research tainted the oasis. I see. This must be the root of all the despair we have encountered. The Nereid once made this oasis a place of healing, but by filling these caverns with sickness and death, it drastically changed her. She must be the one who created these fumes and raised these corpses. I'm afraid that the Nereid must be killed. She poses a threat to all who visit Cicatrice, and by raising the dead she has defiled many. Her death, Hist willing, will also allow this oasis to finally begin to heal. With your help, my egg mother's terrible mistake can finally be mended. Thank you, traveler friend. For now, I'll lead my companions back to camp. Nereids are inherently linked to the body of water they inhabit. The plague victims stayed within these caverns for weeks. Slowly, they tainted the purity. Precisely. As the clear waters of this oasis grew polluted, so too did her spirit. Once, the Nereid healed those who came to her. Now I'm afraid it will still take many years to fully heal the oasis. But killing the Nereid will begin that process.
Why did you have to come? No! I won't let anyone corrupt this oasis! Not again! It does my heart good to see you unharmed. I trust the Nereid suffers no longer? In a way, I did learn what happened here. My egg mother sought to create a cure for the plague. Instead, she corrupted the oasis with sickness and death. Everyone in Cicatrice died as a result of that corruption, but I did not journey to Cicatrice to seek her good intentions. There has been much animosity between the Khajiit and Argonian races because of the Nahatan flu. My people are immune to the disease, so many believe through her research and sacrifice, I had hoped to bridge the gap between our people, prove that Argonians are not the cold-blooded monsters so many see us as. I do not know. I must reflect on this. Still, I thank you for all that you've done. You saved my companions, found my egg mother's research, and helped the oasis begin to heal. No small feats to accomplish, traveler friend. May your path be easy and your footsteps sure. The foul wind of our misfortune has turned into a gentle breeze. My companions are recovering well. I will monitor them closely for the next few days and see how they progress. For now, I suspect both the fumes and the undead will linger for quite some time. Have no worries, though. I will make sure that its dangers are known to elsewhere. Hopefully, the Khajiit look up to their skies and see dragons soaring overhead. They look across their fields and see bloody... The Nereid was the source of the corruption. It was her power that created toxic fumes and raised the... How are our companions, Laratan?
All is well, Egg Brother. Your antidote has helped them immensely.
That's good to hear.
Iokas, were you able to find your mother's research notes?
Yes. Our traveler friend was able to collect them.
And what did they say? What happened to Cicatrice?
Let us speak of that after you've recovered. For now, you need to rest.
wonder where he could have gotten to. Headed into Darkpool Mine. Good. For me, I mean. Not for... maybe for you too. Who knows? Maradani could really use a strong set of... My partner, Hadass, and I came here to survey the mine. Plenty of sulfur and oil hereabouts, right? Only catch, the cave's full of cultists. And Daedra. I couldn't tell you what they're doing in there, but judging by the smell, it's nothing good. Still inside! A Daedrath caught us sniffing around, right? Hadass tried to tell it that joke he knows, to make friends, yes? Doubt it worked, but who knows? This one took off running. I feel a little bad about leaving Hadass. Would you look for him? Thanks for the help, Rook. Now, I don't want to alarm you, but with all the oil and sulfur, this mine could... Is there a gentler word for explode? Maybe that's what these Daedra were. Engineers. We build catapults, ballistae, that sort of thing for the Northern Elsewhere Defense Force. Like I said, blow things up. What else would we do with it? That Mascas Euraxia's built more walls than I have hairs. Maradani gets shit. Yeah, this one's too slick and clever to swing claws and swords around. Leave that to the Pomerat and the Sanchez, right? In times of war, the wise stand in the back and throw... Maradani is no scholar, but they look like Mehrunes worshippers. Definitely. Plus, Mehrunes worshippers are the... There you are. Things seemed quieter, so Maradani came to look around. Did you find Hadass? And how about these cultists? I hope you gave them a swift kick in the tail. Stupid Hadass. Always thought he'd die from something silly like falling down a privy. I'll let his family know. And this hammer, scary business, right? I'll deliver it to the Main's priest. They'll know what to do with it. Thanks again, Uruk. Krah! How did you hold this hammer so long? Like hot coal on the paws, right? Maradani just can't drop it in a bucket of water and forget about it, can she? No? Ha! Me? No. Maradani will report back to the Northern Elsewhere defense leadership. Then...
Have you found one of my master's treasures? He's always interested in reclaiming what is rightfully his. Really? You look surprisingly sane for someone who's touched all 3 bottles. You must be incredibly resistant to... Well, it's none of my business. Just one. The last person who returned these bottles found them under a pile of corpses. My master is a connoisseur of cursed collectibles. Wine, jewelry, paintings, people. Here is your reward. If you find more cursed items, please bring them here. I still hope that if his collection grows large enough, he'll no longer need me in it. Thank you again for returning my master's wine. If someone brings me the rest of his cursed collectibles, he might... I stole a cursed book from my master, and was punished by being trapped in this exact place, waiting to receive other stolen items. I've stared at... Never say his name, stranger. His name is more horrible than any curse.
To you all day long. Will you love?
Hey, you came. Did the Ruddy Fang still have my things? This means a lot, really. I don't have much left to remember him by. The things in this pack and the condolences of the Legion paymaster every month when I collect his due. Take the gold. I don't need it. I didn't really expect anyone to help a Legion widow out here. The Khajiit don't have much love for the Empire these days. Besides, they've got enough of their own problems. I'm going to make a small memorial shrine over my hearth. If I still have a hearth. I won't know until there's a break in the fighting long enough that I can get home. I barely avoided a battle between the Dominion and the Covenant on the way.
Starlight, you can grasp her tight.
Ah, there you are. Spare a moment for a chit-chat? If we've had this conversation already, then I wanted to thank you for the useful advice. But if I haven't seen you since our talk at that mysterious gravestone, which seems much more likely, then I could really use your help. Did I mention the dreams? Visions, really? They come and go without warning, like seeing through someone else's eyes. Quite disconcerting in an interesting sort of way. Anyway, my trusty shovel and I, we searched that entire grave, and it was gone. The betrayer's head, the dreams, the visions, they drew me there, but someone got to it before I did. I have the strangest sensation in the pit of my tummy. It could be the cobweb porridge I had for breakfast, or something bad is about to happen. Well, that's sort of like leaping from the cliffs of failure without a rope, or at least without tying the end off first. I can't tell you how many times I've made that mistake. Oh, Abner wants to see you. He's in the town hall with the cat general.
The losses we suffered at the Defense Force outpost were devastating, but we are...
At this point, we need to come up with a plan that takes into account Euraxians, necromancers, and dragons. I proposed a few options, but Gareshri wasn't sold on any of them. Tell me, what of Chimera and the source of the undead? You paint a troubling picture, my friend. Still, we need to celebrate every victory we achieve. I fear such triumphs will be few and far between. Do you have anything else to report? My half-sister likes to think that she's in charge. She won't take kindly to being called a puppet. As for leaving elsewhere, I think not. Obviously, this Mulamnir fears us. Otherwise, the dragon wouldn't have deigned to talk to you. Every conversation I have with Cadwell makes my head throb, but one mystery at a time, if you please. Now, if only I could get my half-sister to listen to reason and see that the dragons are using her. Apali? I may not like her, but we are family. Besides, it would give the Khajiit time to regroup. You're beginning to think like a Thang, my friend. Here, take this. Gareshri gave it to me, but I refuse to accept payment for my services. A parley with Euraxia is a capital idea. I'll send word to Rimmon to expect us. I imagine my half-sister will treat us as befits my station and agree to the meeting. Attend to any other matters if you must, then see me when you're ready to leave. It just so happens I already have one. It involves distracting my half-sister with wit, charm, and words she barely comprehends. Oh, and you. Euraxia never could resist a pretty face. You'll pretend to be my bodyguard and personal valet. Consider it obfuscation to hide your true purpose. We don't want to give Euraxia a reason to react poorly to overtures of reconciliation. Not that I expect to reach an accord, but still. Meet me in Rimmon and we'll enter the palace together. Go on, go on. I'm capable of traveling to Rimmon on my own. We'll meet up at the city gates and go to the palace from there. I'm relatively certain Euraxia will honor the parley, but be prepared for anything. She's still a Tharn, after all. We're not very close, in case I haven't made that abundantly clear. Euraxia is an accomplished mage in her own right. My younger sibling has always been ambitious, but I didn't realize the extent of her aspirations until the Frostfall coup. About 6 years ago or so, while Emperor Varen was busy with his rebellion, Euraxia took advantage of the confusion to lead a column of Nibonese mercenaries into northern Elsewhere. She declared herself Queen of Rimmon and its adjacent fiefs. Of course not. The Khajiit called her the Usurper Queen, remember? Once Varen became Emperor, he had other problems to worry about. Same with Queen Irene. As long as the Alliance War occupies her forces, the Khajiit are on their own out here.
This one hates the idea of talking to the Usurper Queen. We should be stabbing her in the neck. Still, Nalado sees the necessity, even if she doesn't like it. Euraxia will almost certainly betray you, so be careful when you face her, yes? By marching into Elsewhere with a mercenary army and slaughtering our rightful Khajiiti rulers. Not only did the usurper slay our king and queen, she murdered the rest of the royal family. Her crime?
A parley with the usurper queen. I doubt she'll agree to any sort of diplomatic solution. But it will buy us. She marched into Anequina with a mercenary army and conquered Rimmon. Her forces killed the royal family and she...
You stood against the Daedric brood. Bright moon.
So, I recently traveled past Two Moons Temple. I hate to say it, but
Thank the moons you are back. Aldrich, Spot, did you? Strong, but more than that. Well,
they were chasing nothing. For you, unsettling to behave so.
saw nothing? Odd. You mentioned butterflies. This one has a bad feeling about that. A memory teases and is gone. Oh well.
I expected sorrow and despair, but the situation here goes beyond even my prophetic inklings. On the surface, yes, but peace through tyranny provides false harmony. Euraxia uses fear and threats of violence to keep the Khajiit in line, making them second-class citizens in their own province. It appalls me to think Euraxia and I are related. It would be better if I showed you. Follow me, and I'll demonstrate the true depths of my half-sister's villainy. Her grip on Rimmon is far tighter than it appears. Very well. Have you ever visited a Rimmon workhouse? They treat the Khajiiti workers worse than slaves. It's that building over there. For most of Rimmon's Khajiit, it's the only job available to them. The workhouse serves to snare the poor and the destitute, those who fall behind on their debts. They come here to find employment, and one of the first things Euraxia did after declaring herself queen was to institute tariffs and fines that apply only to the Rimmon Khajiit? No. Any complaints incur fines for causing a public disturbance or some other inane ordinance. Oh, Euraxia is clever. She pays the Khajiiti, and the workhouse isn't technically a prison. On the surface. Now, let's visit the Rimmon marketplace. Take a look around. Business seems to be thriving, but appearances can be deceiving. It may be hard to see, but the Khajiiti merchants struggle to keep their stalls open, while the less bestial business people rake in the profits. Euraxia would have you believe it's a matter of work. Unfairly doesn't begin to cover it. Khajiiti merchants must deal with high tariffs, extra inspection fees, costly licenses. Euraxia's squeeze. On the surface, it seems reasonable to make Khajiiti pay for extra inspections to ensure their fur isn't getting into the products they sell. And while they do shed, it's just another way to discriminate against the right. Come along. I want to show you the improvements Euraxia made to the palace wall. See the trebuchets? Notice how they're aimed into the city below. See how the siege weapons sit upon the walls? When it comes right down to it, you're looking at the secret of my half-sister's success. How else do you think Euraxia maintains order and keeps the Elsewhere Defense Force at bay? She declared publicly and has repeated often that any attempt to liberate Rimmon will see her unleash the full fury of the siege weapons. If Euraxia can't have Rimmon, then neither can anyone else. She'd destroy the city in a heartbeat if she thought she was in danger of losing control. Of course, She tells her non-bestial subjects that only the Khajiit districts are targeted. Absolutely not. But the lie makes her supporters feel better. The Khajiit know that even a peaceful protest could result in the destruction of Rimmon. So far, no one has dared to challenge Euraxia's will in this matter, and for good reason. When we get to the palace, let me do the talking. As the Elder Tharn, I'll demonstrate my dominance over Euraxia and negotiate a cessation of hostilities.
Here come Queen Euraxia's guests now.
I don't like the looks of these meddlers. I say we feed them to the dragons and be done with it. I know you. I saw you through the soul shriven's eyes. You were with the fool who thinks himself the shining knight. I am my own head, yes. I am the hero of Sirad and the villain of Elsewhere, the champion of the Third. Of course not, I am the genuine article, much more real than a disembodied soul given shape in the flesh cauldrons of oblivion. But why do you came to that conclusion by yourself, did you? That's what they called me. It has a certain ring to it, but I always preferred my...
So you're Abner Tharn's bodyguard and valet. Not what I expected. I assume you want to follow your master into the Queen's inner sanctum, huh? I'll allow it. But first, I want to gauge the measure of your marrow. I am Queen Euraxia's chief necromancer. You may call me Zumog Foom. The other grave callers answer to me. And this is my familiar and confidant. Ah, yes. The betrayer saw you when it looked through the soul shriven's eyes. The creature you know is a pale shadow of the dark night that once walked these lands. I exhumed his remains and reanimated him. Well, his head, it was all I could find. My actions don't concern you. I just wanted to meet Abner Tharn's lackey and determine if Queen Euraxia had anything to fear. The answer is quite clear. Your insignificance rivals that of the soul-shriven fool, which makes you eminently forgettable.
Now about the rest of my body, O pestilent one.
Your insults won't hasten the process, betrayer.
But there's a terrible draft in what used to be my nether regions.
Presenting Abner Tharn, Grand Chancellor and Overlord of Nibene, Imperial Battle Mage of the Elder Council, and Patriarch of the Tharn Dynasty, and his bodyguard.
Ah, Hafkara, your arrival, it's so unexceptional.
Pretending to be a queen is...
Hush, Abner, you bore me. Bodyguard, you look interesting. Come talk to me.
You heard her. Good luck.
My sources indicated that my son's murderer was somewhat taller. Ah, well. Now, why in the world should I even consider negotiating with the monster who murdered my dear Javad? And you killed him for that? By whose authority do you play judge, jury, and executioner? Oh, to think I once dreamed of torturing you for 12 years, but I see now that you're not worth the effort. So, why come to me about the dragons? You think that your flowery words will cause me to slip and reveal my deepest, darkest plan? Oh, how little you understand the mind of a Tharn. Instead, I think I will take you to the dungeons. Make you beg for mercy before I give your flowery words won't sway me, sun killer. But you are correct about one thing.
Mulomnir and I have a special relationship. An understanding. The dragons will secure my control of elsewhere. Enough! Zumog Fu, what news do you bring?
The Desert Wind Adaptorium has fallen. We move against Riverhold on your word.
Then the word is given. Now, half-brother.
Treachery? How could I ever have anticipated this?
Guards, take them to the dungeons.
I think not. Well, I suppose that could have gone better. I prepared for Euraxia's probable betrayal. Unfortunately, my teleport spell wasn't quite able to penetrate the palace wards, so we wound up down here, in the palace sewer. We heard two things of note. First, Euraxian forces have invaded the Desert Wind Adaptorium for some insidious purpose. And second, my vile half-sister ordered an attack on Riverhold. One thing at a time, my companion, one thing at a time. I need to recover my strength after teleporting us into this skeever hole. I'll need your help to get out of here. Then we can deal with both Desert Wind and Riverhold. My age is finally catching up with me. Thank you so much for poking that open wound. Magic takes a toll on the body. I've been wielding powerful forces since before you were born. There's always a cost. Eventually. Quicker if you stop badgering me about it. My strength will return, it always does. Now get us out of this sewer so we can warn both Desert Wind and Riverhold. The way out, finally. I can't abide another moment in this stench. Well, that's an experience I won't be adding to my memoirs. We'll separate here. Make it harder for Euraxia's lackeys to follow us. Now. Things actually turned out better than I expected. We know that Euraxia wants something from the Desert Wind Adaptorium, and we know she's about to launch a counter-strike against Riverhold. That's not exactly true. If my power wasn't depleted, well, let's not digress. I'll go to Riverhold and warn Garishri. We'll make sure the city is ready for the attack. Meanwhile, Adaptoriums serve the same function as monasteries in other parts of Tamriel.